Well, here's a look at the late slate tonight in college football. Two ranked-on-ranked matchups in the Pac-12. Meanwhile, Tennessee and LSU will both look to help their case for the college football playoff. Both of those teams are big favorites today in their games. And for more on the late slate, we welcome back in Kenny White and Jon Berger. Let's start with number 7 USC taking on number 16 UCLA. Jon, USC is still playing for a shot at the college football playoffs. The motivation has to be at an all-time high, doesn't it, in this one? How do you see it playing out?
I'm going to take SC in this situation. I think the number's about right. I never thought I would say this, Kenny, but I think the over in this game, the over-under is set at about 75, maybe 76. Not only am I going to take SC, but I'm also going to take the over, which I never thought I would do. That's one of the highest over-unders I've ever seen. But here's the thing with this particular game. First of all, this is going to be a war. It's going to be in the Rose Bowl. Everybody's talking about UCLA having a home field advantage. I don't buy that. I don't think there's going to be a home field advantage sitting out there in LA, and especially in the Coliseum. I think you got to give UCLA a lot of credit for what Chip Kelly's been able to do. But I just think in this situation, it kind of comes back to quarterback play. And in this situation, I like what Caleb Williams is going to be able to do. You look at UCLA defensively in terms of their back seven. This is a team that can get porous at times. I think that Caleb Williams and this team can capitalize on that. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think Caleb Williams gets loose. And the other thing, I give the coaches a lot of credit in this situation for USC. If you've kind of looked behind the scenes and what they've been able to do, they've seen this game, circled this game about a month ago, and they're getting their starters healthy. Addison, Williams, Voorhees, Lincoln Riley has done a good job of getting this team healthy well before this matchup. I think it's going to be a war. It's going to be an exciting game. Can't wait to watch it. But I think this number is set. I think USC can cover this number. And I never thought I'd do this with this type of number, but I think I'm going to take the over in this situation. This game's going to go back and forth, but I just think there's going to be too many big plays by USC and they get it done.
Yeah, John, last 3 years, this is BLR before Lincoln Riley. Last year, 62-33 UCLA. So there's a little revenge factor. I'm sure Lincoln Riley's going, you guys lost 62-33 to this team last year. We need to get some payback, and there could be the pedal to the metal game if they get up. The year before that, 2020, USC 43-30. And then 2019, 52-35. That's 87 points per game they average. I'm going over the total. I'm going over 76. High-flying game. This year, USC number 4 in offense yards per play. UCLA number 6. USC averages 42.4. UCLA 39.5. Those two numbers add up to 82 points per game. Williams versus Dorian Thompson-Robinson. Back and forth. And the one thing you can count on, it's going to be 72 degrees in LA today, well, in Southern California. That's what it is all year round. It's 72 all year round. It'll be 66 at kickoff. It's going to be a beautiful night, and it's going to be a great night for scoring over the total.
Kenny, I wish it was 72 degrees here in Connecticut. When you said year-round there, I think I need to move to California. Elsewhere,
Kenny,
though.
What are you saying on the degree? 72? Are you saying like both teams need to put like like the Under Armour thing?
They probably will as well, won't they?
66. They may be freezing, Kenny. I don't know. Is that going to impact the game? What are we talking about here, bud?
I need some gloves just sat in here. Elsewhere, though, in the Pac-12, it's number 10 Utah on the road against number 12 Oregon. Their quarterback, Bo Nix, is a game-time decision in this one. Kenny, I know that you like the road team here, so walk us through why they can make us some money today.
Kyle Whittingham, he's just one of the best coaches in the country and has his team well prepared. They handled Oregon handily both times last year. Neither game was competitive. Now, this is a different Oregon team with Dan Lanning stepping in, and he's brought a lot of enthusiasm to the program. They played good football. Bo Nix, horrible game against Georgia, turned the season around. Bad game against Washington. Now he's very questionable with the game. The way the line is moved, it's telling me Bo Nix is not going to play tonight. That's going to be a 5-point drop-off. I just like this Utah team. Loved how they handled Oregon last year, and I think they do it again. Normally, I'd think double revenge situation, I'd be on Oregon. But with this game being in Eugene, the Utah Utes will be very focused. They'll forget about what they did last year. It'll be a business-like work for this Utah Ute team today. So go Utah.
Yeah, I love it. Unlike Kenny, that's not particularly loyal to TCU. I've been extremely loyal to Utah. Kyle Whittingham and this team's going to show up, and defense, run game, and maturity always travels well. Bo Nix has been nicked up a little bit. I think this situation where you see a very mature Utah team walk in with a very business-like attitude. This is going to be a physical Utah team. I think they get this done. I think they cover this, but I also think take the over in this situation. I think there's going to be a lot of points scored. Oregon has proven at home they can get the ball downfield and create those explosive plays. But I just think in this situation, Utah defensively is going to put up enough fight, especially up front at the point of attack, and they can get this done, but also take the over. I like what Cam Rising's doing. Tavion Thomas running the football. This is a very stable, mature team. They're going to show up with a workmanlike, blue-collar attitude. They're going to cover this number, and I also think take the over. There's going to be some points scored.
Okay, over in the SEC, number 5 Tennessee on the road against South Carolina. The Volunteers likely control their own destiny when it comes to making the playoffs this year. If they win out, they should claim a spot. John, is Tennessee the right side today, laying 22 points on the road?
I hate that number. It's too big. I don't like it, but I think Tennessee covers, and I think you take the over. Look, Tennessee's in a situation where optics matter. And what do I mean by optics matter? Well, optics drive narratives. And you want a certain narrative at the water cooler with the playoff committee, and the Gaylord Hotel, which they make these decisions down in Dallas, Kenny, is full of water coolers. So follow my logic here. Optics matter, drives the narrative at the water cooler for the playoff committee. I think Tennessee has to come out and make a statement game, score a bunch of points. They're going to have to look great. They can't take their foot off the gas despite what the scoreboard says, and I think they're going to do that. Hendon Hooker, the quarterback positions, but in one of the bigger stories in all of college football, this guy has 53 touchdowns and a whopping 4 interceptions in 21 starts at Tennessee. He's a very mature quarterback. He's not going to do silly things. I understand the argument that South Carolina is going to be up. It's their Super Bowl, all those things. However, again, Tennessee has to make a statement. This has been a good team the entire season. They start fast in the first quarter. I think they come out on fire, bombs away, put up a bunch of points. They cover the number, and they take the over because they still have that shot to get into the playoff. We'll see how all this thing plays out. But they have to make a statement, Kenny, and I think they do today.
John, I agree. They do have to make a statement. It's amazing. They can make a statement. They really can. Averaging 47 a game. Hendon Hooker, a tremendous season. You said 53 touchdowns. I hope we're saying next week he has 60 touchdowns. I hope he throws 7 today. I like the game over the total. Tennessee, third best offense in yards per play, but one of the top in scoring at 47.4. And they're up against the defense who's below average. South Carolina defense, 71st in the country. John's right. They win these last 2 games impressively. In the water cooler, they start to talk about it down in Texas and Dallas and say, man, you see Tennessee again? They threw up another 60 spot. We're going over 66. And the guys in Texas are talking about Tennessee got 60. Well, come on. Let's go, Spencer Rattler. All you need to do is get a touchdown. I like what Shane Beamer's done this year. They're bowl eligible at 6-4. They just haven't beaten anybody yet. They're going to be overwhelmed by the Vols. And then the Vols are going to blow out Vanderbilt. Tennessee in the college football playoff?
I like it, Kenny. A lot to look forward to today, but lastly, it's number 6 LSU hosting UAB as 15-point favorites tonight. Kenny, is there a chance that UAB can shock some people and keep this one close at Tiger Stadium, do you think?
I think so. This is a really good program. They play really good football, fundamentally sound. Dylan Hopkins, their quarterback's outstanding. Running back McBride is a big-time running back. Last week was the week. Again, I don't like to bet on teams. I like to bet against teams that get their name moved on, and they know that happened. LSU plays Georgia for the SEC championship. They just played a very physical game. They played several physical games in a row. I think they overlook UAB, and that's not going to be a good move because, as I said, this team weighs up. They've got talent, and they're going to be a tough out tonight for LSU because I just don't think it's a motivated LSU team. If they were motivated, yeah, they could win by 2 touchdowns. Unmotivated, I think they kick a field goal late and win the game by 3.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. I wouldn't put a bunch of money on this one. I don't like the size of the number, but keep in mind, Kenny, this is a night game at LSU. If this was a noon kick, I might buy it. Maybe even a 3:30 Eastern kick, I might buy it. You mentioned UAB. I mean, this is a team that people don't know a lot about. You mentioned Wayne McBride, one of the best, most physical running backs in college football. You look at this team's schedule and you say, well, 5 losses, LSU is going to crush this team. Well, those 5 losses were at 7 points or less. So this is a team that's going to show up. They got nothing to lose. When you're facing a team that's got nothing to lose, that can be a very dangerous situation. Kenny mentioned it. Keep in mind, LSU's got Texas A&M next week. Who knows what's going to happen with Texas A&M? That thing could get interesting, and I don't care if A&M even loses to UMass today. A&M's going to show up and play LSU hard. That said, just because it's a night game, I think this thing's going to be an ugly first half. I think UAB is going to surprise some people, but I think in the second half, I think LSU is going to get a lot of choice words from their coaches at halftime in terms of kicking into gear, find another gear, guys, knock it off, and go out there and hit somebody in the face. I think LSU covers this number. It's big. I don't like it. Not a big bet. But this is a pride thing, night game at LSU. Second, third, and fourth quarter, I think LSU dominates this. And I think they can shut down that ground attack in the second half from UAB.
All right, so our guys divided there. Let's take another look at their late slate selections, though. John likes USC, Kenny going for a high-scoring game out west. Elsewhere, Kenny taking Utah, while John likes the over. John also likes Tennessee, Kenny taking the over, and split. Kenny is riding with UAB, while John likes the home side, LSU.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.